Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited. I get to share with you guys my most absolute favorite dish of all time in the Mexican culture, Costillas De Puerco en Salsa Verde. Now, my sauce is not gonna look very green, but that doesn't mean that my sauce is not considered a Salsa Verde, which is a green sauce. So I am very excited to begin this video. Let's get this started. So for this recipe, you will be using the following ingredients. I am going to be using costillas de puerco, which is pork rib. And we're going to use a little bit of olive oil. You can use aceite or manteca, oregano, and we're going to go ahead and use some garlic. I like the fresh garlic. You guys can use the powder or the frozen. Cloves. It's not very common and I don't use it very often, but I'm going to be using it for this recipe. We're going to need some water, and that's going to go for our pork. Our pork is going to start with a little bit of water, and it's going to help marinate, and it's going to let the pork cook thoroughly. Salt, a couple bay leaves, some pepper. Now, as far as your sauce goes, this is what I mean by mine is still considered a green sauce because I'm not using any dry red chiles, which makes it a red sauce. I am using tomato, but that's because I don't necessarily prefer only having the serranos and the tomatillos because I feel it's a little bit sour. I prefer to add habanero and tomatoes to my sauce, which still makes it a green sauce, not a red sauce because I'm using green chiles. And I believe this combination together with the serranos and the habanero makes your sauce very, very good. It's spicy. I am going to be making some black beans and rice with this recipe. Now in this video, I'm not going to be showing you guys how I make those in particular. If you guys would like to see how I make my beans and rice, just comment below and I can make a separate video for those. But here I have them soaking, and I do have my rice drying after I have rinsed it. So I do have these two going in the background, but again, we're going to focus solely on the costillas today, okay? So in a pan, you're going to go ahead and let it heat up on medium heat, not high, and we're going to start adding our meat. And this is really important. You want to make sure that you give your meat enough time to cook from the inside out. The last thing that you want is to have raw meat or to have tough meat. This meat is technically supposed to fall off the bone, but you also want it to have a good texture. So we're going to add the water to the costillas, and we're going to add some salt, and we're going to let them basically cook all the way through for about 2 hours. But you're going to keep checking on it constantly. And then while this is going, you also want to cook your tomatoes and your tomatillos, and you're going to put those in water, okay? So here in this shot, you guys can see how the meat is slowly starting to cook. You can tell that the meat still looks raw, and this is fine because it's only been about maybe 30 minutes in. And just keep an eye on it, keep making sure that it doesn't get stuck to the pan, that there's enough water. As soon as the water is completely gone from your pan, that's when you know that you need to start basically frying your meat, okay? Do not do it before. Give it its time. And once the water is gone, you'll see it right away, just like in this shot right now. And you'll know that it's now time to change from water to now adding a little bit of olive oil, aceite, or manteca. Whatever it is that you're going to add, you are going to have to take it out because you only want it to help the meat get nice and brown. So as soon as your meat is nice and brown to your liking, remove that excess oil because you do not want it, okay? So make sure you guys take it out. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil a few times around the pan, and we're gonna let the meat cook without the lid on, and we're gonna let them continue to get nice and brown. Now, this is exactly what you want. Right here, my meat and my costillas are very nice and brown. They're crunchy on the outside, and these are actually perfect if you guys want to feed them to your kids like this without having the chile with some rice and beans. So you see, I did take out my excess oil, and I'm gonna be using that to refry my frijoles later. But now I'm gonna go ahead and move over to the sauce, and I'm gonna go ahead and blend all my ingredients. I prefer a chunkier salsa than a soft one or smooth one. So I'm not going to be blending mine as much, just a couple times around the blender, and basically that's it for me. I'm gonna be blending them in 2 batches because I don't have enough room in one. I don't want my blender to explode because it's so hot. But yeah, guys, it's almost ready to eat. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So I'm gonna do a slow-mo for you guys because this is absolutely my favorite part. It's when the meat and the salsa are getting together. And if you guys could just be here to smell, it smells so good. And I am so excited for dinner right now. So as I mentioned earlier, I am blending it in 2 batches because it didn't fit in the first time, but I'm gonna go ahead and continue to add the rest of my ingredients. I'm going to add my onion, my leftover onion, my bay leaf, and I'm going to make sure that I really go with my spoon and make sure that I take all those bits and pieces from the bottom of the pan, because that is what's gonna make our dish taste really, really good. Letting them simmer, letting them marinate together, and you wanna let them maybe about 25 minutes or 30 minutes because you really want to make sure that the meat and the salsa get together and they marry and they make this delicious, amazing Mexican dish that is absolutely off the chain. You guys are gonna love it. Now, you do want to make sure that you taste it, of course, at this time. Taste it for your salt content. If you guys want to add a little bit more salt, you guys are welcome to add a little bit more salt. If you feel that the meat, you salted it well enough at the beginning of your dish, you shouldn't have to add too much salt. The meat does give the salsa really good flavor. So just add to taste. It's up to you guys what you guys want to add. And basically this is it, guys. It's ready. It's ready and it's ready to eat, and it's so delicious. Looks so good. Now you guys can take out the bay leaves now that it's fully boiled. You don't have to keep them on there. I don't mind. I just, if I get it on my plate, I just push it to the side. But if you are serving it to your guests, you want to take that out. Make sure that they don't have that in their plate. I'm going to go ahead and serve myself and get ready for dinner because I cannot wait. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope that you guys try it and you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you guys in my next video.